S-Log3 can look scary, right? It comes out flat, grey, and nothing like what you saw in real life. Here's the good news. You don't have to be a pro Resolve expert to fix it. DaVinci Resolve has a super simple workflow that anyone can follow. I'm going to walk you through this process to bring your S-Log3 footage to life. By the end of this video, you'll be able to do this every single time without stress. I've already got a bunch of S-Log3 footage in the timeline. Let's go and color grade one of these. And you can see at the minute, it looks really gray, washed out, doesn't have any contrast or any color. And that's the S-Log3 initial look. We're going to need to head over to the color page. So we'll just click down here. And if you don't see the nodes open, you can click here to open up the default nodes. And this is where we do all of the color grading and conversion of S-Log3. If you're not on the right clip, you can click clips and then click on the individual S-Log3 clip that you want to color grade. And you can close that clips view by clicking again. The first thing we're going to do is set up the workflow that's going to enable us to map S-Log3 into the right kind of color space to enable us to edit it. There's a few ways we can do this. I'm going to come up to the File menu. I'm going to come down to Project Settings. And then I'm going to come over and click on Color Management. You want to make sure the color science is set to DaVinci YRGB. The timeline color space is set to DaVinci WG Intermediate, which stands for Wide Gamut Intermediate. And for the output color space here, we're going to be delivering to YouTube or broadcast. So we're going to choose Rec 709 Gamma 2.4. If these terms feel a bit overwhelming, don't worry, you don't need to know exactly what all this is about. Just set up your color settings like this. You can click Save and close this window. The first node here, we need to convert from S-Log3 to a working color space. And the working color space is just a place where we can do all of our color grading without losing any information. To do that, you need to click on Effects. And this is going to open up the effects list. Click on the magnifying glass to open up the search. And if you just start typing color, you should see this color space transform effect. Drag that over on top of this first node and let go. Now there's loads of settings in here, but don't worry about most of these. We're going to change the input color space. If you scroll down here, you should see Sony S-Gamut3.cine. And for the input gamma, make sure you change this to Sony S-Log3. You saw that there was a bit of a change when we did that, but things still aren't looking very good here. They still look a bit weird and washed out, but don't worry, we'll fix that in the next few steps. At the moment, this footage is not ready to be viewed on a normal screen, and that's why it looks all crazy and funny and not very good. The next step is we're going to add a new node. I'm going to just drag this across here a little bit to make some more space. You can right click on this node, choose Add Node, and choose Add Serial, or use Alt-S on the keyboard. Just going to drag this across here to make some space. We want to drag another color space transform effect onto this new node. For the input color space, we're going to set this to DaVinci Wide Gamut. We're going to set the input gamma to DaVinci Intermediate. And watch what happens when I click this. Straight away, the image starts to look a bit better. But we're not done yet. For the output color space, we need to tell DaVinci Resolve what kind of screen we want this to be displayed on. In our case, it's going to be Rec 709 and Gamma 2.4. Straight away, the shadows open up, the whole thing looks a lot brighter and more colourful. And that's because DaVinci Resolve now knows how to display this on a normal screen. But notice how it's still not looking perfect. Let's go and fix that next. I'm going to close the effects to make a bit more space, and we'll just open this up. This is where the fun begins. The first thing we're going to do is go and fix the overall brightness of the image. I'm going to right click on this first node, choose Add Node, and choose Add Serial. And if you want to, you can drag these down here just to differentiate them from these two first nodes we added. To make it clearer, you can right click on a node, choose Node Label, and we'll call this first node Exposure. We're going to use this node to change the brightness of the overall image. Come down to the bottom here and make sure that you have selected the correct tool. In this case, to change the brightness, we're going to click on this HDR wheel and make sure that this little thing is selected down here and not one of these things. To change the exposure, we're just going to drag the exposure slider either left to make things darker or right to make things brighter, and you can click here to reset. You can change the scope if you want to get a visual representation of the brightness, and I think here we're just going to drop it down just a little bit. So changing the brightness helps, but it's still missing that punch. Let's fix that. We're going to go and add another node after the exposure node, and we're going to call this one contrast. With this node selected, come back down here and choose this first wheel. And if you don't see the wheels, click here. We're going to use this contrast control to adjust the contrast and make things pop a bit more. Hold down the left mouse button on the word contrast and drag to the right to increase the contrast and drag to the left to decrease the contrast. Double click the word contrast to reset. In this shot, we're going to drag to the right to add as much contrast as we want. If you go too far, things start to look unreal. So let's just go about there. I'm going to hit Control D on the keyboard to disable that entire node. This is the before and this is the after. Now it's got impact, but the colors aren't quite where we want them to be. Let's fix that. We'll add another node after the contrast node and we'll call this node color. With this node selected, head back to the HDR wheels, and we're going to just drag this little dot around inside the global wheel. I'll just show you what this does if you take it too far. You can see it's completely changing the color of the image, but we can click this button to reset. If it helps, you can move the playhead around to find the frame that you want, and then start moving this dot around to get the colors looking how you want them to. I think in this image, if we drag it down and to the right, cools things off and the greens start to really pop out. If we drag this dot up and to the left, things get a lot warmer. So this is a creative decision as much as anything. I think in this image, we're going to just move things up to the left and top. And you can always use Control D to disable that to get a before and after, before and after. Remember how intimidating S-Log3 looked at the start, flat, grey and lifeless? Look at it now. With just a handful of simple steps, you went from washed out to cinematic, all inside DaVinci Resolve with no stress and no guesswork. So the next time you film in S-Log3 with this workflow, you can bring your footage to life in minutes. This channel's all about editing in DaVinci Resolve. If you want to take your DaVinci Resolve skills to the next level, subscribe for future videos. Hopefully, I'll see you in the next one.